Hello, welcome to another UTS Startups Confessions.
Nice, good. The energy is real.
And the energy should be this high because we're going to talk about solutions to tech talent and talent broadly for startups, which I know from surveys and other things, it's like easily the top requirement people have, maybe funding, maybe customers, it goes up and down. But we've got a great solution in the form of yourself, Sam. So tell everyone about Techvisa and what it is and what it does.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So Techvisa, we're an immigration firm. We do visas for tech startups and scale-ups. So really kind of niche industry, I guess. Companies who tend to get funding, need to scale relatively quickly. A lot of those tech roles, then we help them out with not so much the sourcing of the talent, but it's if they do find someone who requires a visa, we do that process to help to get that person in here and working as quickly as possible.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sounds nice and easy.
Yeah, right, yeah.
No, but I guarantee across early stage entrepreneurs, it's very hard to find someone that has experience with visas, what's required, why you'd even bother.
Yeah.
Like this, let's start with that. Why bring people into Australia? What kind of circumstances does that make sense in?
Well, I guess it's exactly like the start of your intro there, is like whenever I go to any kind of tech festival, the main thing on the agenda is talent. So everyone is talking about, it's a real struggle to find enough talent who have the skill set to be able to come into your team and help you to deliver your product to market as quickly as you possibly can. In a startup, I guess you're burning money essentially. So you've got all of this cash from maybe investment, maybe it's your own and you're bootstrapped. To just have talent there or to have that product not being developed at the pace it needs to, you just need to get the right people in the chair to be able to develop that product quickly for you. And part of that is, if you can't find the talent locally, then you look at options of, they might come in from a more mature market in that space overseas.
But can you compete with those mature markets if I'm bringing someone in from the US or somewhere else? Like, why would they come to Australia?
Well, I guess it's Australia as well. So you've got to, okay, for the US, maybe you can get paid a bit more money in the US, but it's whether or not people want to be in the US as well. That's the other part. So, Australia does kind of sell itself. If you want to come over here and be closer to beaches, enjoy the climate, just be in a company as well that's developing a product that you've got a passion for, then those are parts of the sell to try and get someone to come over. And it's both ways. A lot of people want to move to Australia. They look at it as a great option to come in. Other companies, from the company side, they might look at it and go, okay, well, we really want to try and find the best talent globally. And then that's when the sales pitch kind of happens of this is why you want to come to Australia. Look at the postcard kind of beaches that we've got and everything.
So especially if you're in a kind of high growth, interesting company and you've got investors or potential investors that are looking for the best team that you can find, the chance of you finding everyone that you need within this place here is probably not certain. So it starts to make sense. Yeah,
it's really not certain. So if you just advertise for roles locally and you try to find the best talent, then a lot of those you might find them, but they might not want to move. They might not move for they want more money than you can afford. Visas are not used to undercut a market. You don't underpay, but it's like, it's a finite amount of talent in Sydney or in Australia. So if you can open up your talent pool by looking globally as well, then why not?
Okay. And what about the experience for the people that you sponsor as a company? Like, are there benefits in retention or other things for those people?
I think there is, really. So, if you're a company and you're bringing someone into the country or you're sponsoring them, so the visa is not they're not handcuffs because people can move between companies as well. But I guess there's a little bit of an obligation. They've backed you. They've said, yes, we want you in our company. Hopefully you love the product, you love the manager and everything, so you want to stay there as well. But there's a little bit of obligation too. It's like, okay, you've actually backed me to come in here. You will support my permanent residency application down the track. So I will pay my dues and stick with this. So a little bit around retention, I think, can really work.
Especially if you're the kind of conduit into the society that they're joining. That's got to build a stronger relationship as well. Yeah,
definitely. And some companies do that better than others as well. So some really help with that assimilation, like when you come in to the country, you might be sitting at home, I have no friendship network, I don't know anyone else outside of the office. Some companies are great, like Atlassian is amazing at actually making sure that everyone has, a connection, like a buddy kind of system. Other ones just maybe say, okay, well, welcome and good luck. And it's just about, as a company, thinking about all of your employees and what the experience is and really creating a good experience for them really, and just a nice journey.
Okay, so in the opposite side of that, so that's a good experience. Let's talk about bad experiences. What do entrepreneurs get wrong in their handling of this?
I guess in the process itself, it's just not giving a good experience. Maybe trying to do it themselves and making mistakes, which elongates the process. So what should take maybe 6 to 8 weeks might take like 6 months because they make a mistake as part of the process. Then they have to relodge and go through it all again. So that's one thing, and it's managing that throughout the whole time as well. So it really is, it's like a customer experience side of things that, as a manager, if you get that right and you make sure someone enters your company and they are the happiest they can be when they come in, because everything to that point, if not seamless, it's been communicated that, okay, this has gone wrong, like we've stuffed up in this way, but it's okay, you know, we've got your back, we're going to do this now. That communication piece and that real customer experience is key. That's what they can get right.
Okay, so let's say I put an advert online. I'm trying to target someone from California with experience in this area or whatever else. I then start a visa application. What have I done wrong in that process?
Nothing wrong in there. I guess there's some...
In terms of advertising or things that I might trip over?
Yeah, so I mean, advertising is key, right? So depending on different markets where you're looking to get someone in from. So if you're from the US, then you need to have advertised the role for 28 days, and then you need to sign the contract after that. And if you don't get some of that timing right, it's an automatic refusal, which means it's $15,000 gone in terms of the visa process. So you just need to make sure the company actually gets the process right and that they follow all of that, like to a T, because immigration don't come back and ask for more information on things like that. If you get advertising wrong, it's wrong, done. Moving on, lodge again. And it's a waste of money. It's a waste of the company's money. It's a waste of the investors' money as well, and they won't be happy if that happens more than once. And for the experience of the person who's overseas, I guess the main thing too is, like, if you're looking to bring someone in to the company, the ideal is you try and find someone locally, because you don't have to go through the pain of, I guess, advertising and the paying for the process and everything. But the whole point with visas is maybe you can't find the right person, or that talent just isn't here. There is a more mature market, like space, for example. So you're going to go to the US or Europe to try and find someone who's got any kind of experience in building rockets or rocket technology. So you have to target those markets. So it's just, it's up to the company to look at what's the best angle to do this, what's the best process, what's the best timeline. So for that space example, you would advertise locally because you know you have to. You're not going to find anybody. You're pretty sure of that because there's not that many rocket companies in Australia. But you've done that, which means that when you do identify that person in the US or you do identify that person in Europe, you know that advertising's done and you can move relatively quickly after that. Okay. So from our perspective, I guess we just want to work with a company as soon as possible so that we can make sure all of that is in place, so that when they do make an offer, it's not, okay, wait 28 days for the advertising, then we can lodge, then we wait for that to come through. We can lodge pretty much straight away.
You focus a lot on the 189 and 190 visas, yeah? Which
Not
ones?
so much, no. So the 189 and the 190 are like the independent PR. So we focus in on 482, which is the employer-nominated visas, and the 186, which is permanent residency, again through like employer nomination. Okay. So like, as a business...
Why those?
Well, as a business, like Techvisa, we work with employers, so that's our target market. So we work with the startups, we're referred in by the VCs, we work with a lot of recruitment agencies as well who refer us into companies who we know are hiring. So we can guarantee an outcome with those as well. So if you've got a company who is willing to sponsor and you also have the employee who's got the degree and got the 2 years of experience, or no degree and 5 years of experience, then we can get an outcome on that one. With the 189 and the 190, you can get your skills assessment, you put in an expression of interest, you may or may not get an invitation. It's a little bit of a lottery, and we like to deal in definites, not maybes, as a business. Because I want to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, you've got a visa, that's awesome, congratulations, as opposed to, yeah, we didn't get an invite again, hopefully next month or hopefully next quarter. And being able to deal with, it's just an amazing phone call to make too. If you call someone and say they've got permanent residency, like you hear tears on the other end of the phone, like just everyone's so happy in that moment, and it's just, that's actually what makes your job fun, as opposed to just processing a visa. So
congratulations, you can pay tax. in
Yeah, pretty
Australia.
much, yeah. And you get Medicare, so all is good.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, if you look through the visa categories, you see like interesting kind of innovation-related ones and business ones. Like, it must be confusing when there's so many different visa categories. I know it is confusing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's, like, generally speaking, not worth worrying about a lot of the kind of more esoteric ones.
Yeah, there's a bit of noise with different visa categories and everything, I guess. So again, like as part of our journey as a business, we really specialised in on employer-nominated visas. So really we look after 3 visa types. That's the 482, which is employer-nominated, just temporary, 186, which is employer-nominated PR, and then the global talent visa. They're our 3 main ones. And because of that, it means if a client calls us or if you give us a call and ask us a question, I can answer that question on the phone immediately. I don't need to go back and research a different visa category, which I don't know of. Or I don't know anything about because we don't lodge 20 or 30 of them a week. With these ones, we know it inside out because we're lodging so many every week.
Can't believe you're doing that many. That's incredible.
It's good. We've got a good team. Like it's a good amount of people, and we've got some amazing clients who've raised some serious cash. Like we might work with a bootstrap company one week, and then the next week we're working with someone who's just raised 150 million. And the venture capital firm goes, here's the cash, go, build. And they can't find enough talent to be able to build as fast as the VCs want them to. So that's where we come into play.
Okay, so we normally do like interviews of entrepreneurs and their journey, and I don't want to miss the opportunity on that as well.
Yep.
So you started in 2016.
Yes.
Talk us through that kind of growth as an organisation.
Yeah. Well, the first year, it was definitely not growth, right? So I started off the company, and it was a different name. It was called New Start Migration. And it was for everything for everybody, pretty much. So I went in and I just thought, okay, scattergun approach, things are going to come to me, build it and they will come, and nobody came. Like people would give you a call and just questions you don't want to answer. Like people asking, which partner they should do a partner visa with, because they've got a couple of like partners or something. It's like, okay, you don't want to have those conversations. You want to go in with like really specialising and going niche. So for that first year, everything to everybody, and then I realised, okay, I spend so much of my time researching these different visa types. If I really go niche and I go after this market, like the tech focus, employer nomination, again, it means that every time someone calls, there's value in that call. It's not, okay, I'll come back to you after I research. It's, I know this because we launched this many this week. The first year I went backwards. So I left my job of 10 years, had a mortgage, 2 kids, single income, and went back to zero, essentially, in that first year, trying to do it. And then we got our first couple of good-sized clients on, and it just started to ramp up from there. And I guess first year you make, $10,000 or $20,000 or something like that, and you're absolutely cheering. You're like, yes, okay, we've made it. This is actually working, and then it just starts to gradually grow from there. And 7 years in now, and we're in a great spot. We've got 15 people. We've got an office in Surrey Hills here. I'm in Brisbane. We've got a US attorney down in Melbourne who helps startups here to scale into the US. We've opened in Singapore, and we've got UK partners as well. So we can do more of that kind of global mobility piece rather than just visas into Australia. We can help you to expand your company elsewhere as well.
Like, that's incredible. I only recently figured out you are in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Because I saw you at so many events and dealing with so many startups that I thought you were just around here somewhere.
Yeah.
It must be nice to have that kind of viral growth from happy people that are referring other people and building what it is today.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's, when we started off, our first big client was Safety Culture, which is just around the corner here, and we got in with them when they were about 50 people. They're now a unicorn, so they're worth over $1 billion. They've got 300 odd people. They're global. Off the back of that, we got referred into Gilmore Space, who build rockets on the Gold Coast. Then we got referred into Propeller Aero, and then all of a sudden it started to kind of grow and momentum. And they're all on the same Slack channels too. So once you're in with a good group of people, then they ask for referrals. It's like, okay, bang, our name's out there. There might be 2 or 3 others who they also refer, but over time, hopefully you're the main one who kind of pops up. And we go to a lot of events. We're down here for Blackbird Sunrise out at Everleigh yesterday, and I was down in Adelaide for South Start, going to London Tech Week. We've got a lot going on, and we're always at events because we don't advertise, we don't do marketing, it's just us. Like, we are always around. We're relevant for such a small amount of time too. We're only relevant when you've got a resume for a German developer on your screen. As soon as you say no and you bin that resume, then we're not relevant anymore because people forget about it. So we've always got to be out there, always got to be in people's faces.
Hopefully some people watching this video or here today remember that for when you're hiring in the future. I guarantee they will.
Yeah.
2 questions to finish up. If you could go back to 2016 and tell yourself something, what would it be?
I'll probably go all in a bit quicker. I guess when you think that, okay, I'm going to be everything to everybody and you're going to capture a whole market, then it's a slower pace to actually grow. If you go really, in my case anyway, if I went really, really niche earlier, I think that growth would have happened a lot sooner as well. So it's a bit of a regret and something I'll definitely change up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's the experience of, mortgage, kids, and everything combined with entrepreneurship changed you as a person?
I'm a lot happier. So I was in a job for 10 years doing what I was doing, and I was a recruitment role, so there's nothing bad about it, but I was jumping on a bus and going to the city every day, and I was like, okay, well, I'm a little bit over this. When I did this one, the whole reason I did it was so that I could have that mobility. This is pre-COVID. Now everyone can work from anywhere, but at that stage it was more of a luxury, I guess. So yeah, that's the benefit I guess I've really got from it. So yeah,
True freedom and doing something that makes you happy every day with people that are happy with the work that you do.
Exactly, and genuine happiness too. Like I love what we do. I love our brand and everything. So it's just it's a good space to be in at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. We're going to get into private Q&A now. So we're going to turn off the cameras and go to the room for questions. For anyone watching at home, come down every Friday at 3:30 to UTS Startups at Central. And if people need more information, go to techvisa.com.au
or LinkedIn is where you can get all of the content that we're putting out there as well. So yeah, jump on that.
Awesome. We'll make sure there's links below. But for now, join me in thanking Sam Bricknell from Techvisa.
Nice one. Thank you.